Hello friends. So we are trying to solve 3 lead code questions in less than 10 minutes today. So the first question is number of steps to reduce a number to 0. So let me read out the question. Given a non-negative number, return the number of steps to reduce it to 0. If the current number is even, you have to divide it by 2. Otherwise, you have to subtract 1 from it. So this is a simple and straightforward question. We will exactly follow what is stated in the question. First thing, we need to return the count of the number of steps. So let's have a variable count initialized to 0, which will help us keep a count of the number of times needed. So the number is non-negative and it needs to be reduced to 0. So we'll start with a while loop where we consider the number greater than 0 and we loop. We need to consider two conditions, one for even number, one for odd. So if the number is even, in that case, we divide the number by 2. And if it's odd, we subtract 1 from it. So we exactly do what's mentioned in the question. And while we're doing this, we increment a count to keep a check of the number of steps needed. And at the end of it, what we need to do is simply return this count. So I'll try and run the code. And yes, it passes for the given test case. I'll try and submit it. So when I submit the code, I see it's 100% pass. And now we can move to the second question. The second question which we'll tackle here is called jewels and stones. I'll read out the question. You're given strings J representing the types of stones that are jewels and S representing the stones you have. Each character in S is a type of stone you have. You want to know how many of the stones you have are also jewels. The letters in J are guaranteed distinct and all characters in J and S are letters. Letters are case sensitive, so small a is considered a different type of stone from capital A. So let us look at the test case. The jewels are small a and capital A, and the stones are small a, 2 capital A's and 4 B's. So if we want to count how many stones are jewels, we need to know if the small a is a jewel. Since small a is present in the string J, it is a jewel. Capital A is also present, it is a jewel, and so on. So for the first case, because we have 3 occurrences, the output is 3. So it's a very simple question. What we need to do is, we'll start by looping over the string which is for the stones, and every time we encounter a stone, we'll keep a check if it is a jewel. So I'm simply starting a loop which helps me to loop over the string which contains the stones. As and when I loop over the string, I try and save each and every character present in the string using s.char in the variable c. So what we need to simply check here is that if the string J contains the character C. So in order to check if the string contains a character, we check index of, which should not be equal to -1. If we are checking if the string J contains the character C, so we are checking not equal to -1. If this is the case, we increment a count variable. We'll simply initialize the count variable to 0. And at the end of it, we simply need to return the count of the stones which are jewels. I'll try and run the code. Okay, sorry. This should be length. And yes, it passes for the given test case. If I try and submit, I can see it passes for all the test cases and it's faster than 100% of the Java solutions. So the third code here is convert a binary number in a linked list to an integer. Let me read out the question. Given head, which is a reference node to a singly linked list, the value of each node in the linked list is either 0 or 1. The linked list holds the binary representation of a number. Return the decimal value of the number in the linked list. So if you look at this question, this example, it is 101. And the decimal value of 101 is simply 5. So what we're trying to do is we will iterate over the list and we'll form a string which is the binary representation of the number. Once we have the binary representation, we'll directly convert the binary representation to the decimal value. So it's again a very simple question. The first thing here what I need would be an empty string to store the original binary representation. And I would start iterating over the list. So while head is not null, that is I have not reached the end of the list, I would simply add the head value to my string. And I would move my head pointer to the next value. Usually, while we are using a singly linked list, it's not recommended to directly work with head, but here it's a very simple question where it doesn't even matter because you're not going to use the list again, so we can directly use head rather than allocating a different pointer. So here the string s would actually give the binary representation of the number. Now in order to get the decimal representation, we can simply use Java's integer.parseInt method and pass the string value and 2 for binary, and let's see if we've got a solution. Okay, my bad, it should be 2 else. Yep, so it passes for the given test case. Let me try and submit it. Yeah, so we have 100% pass solution, but this seems to be a bit slower. We can use bit manipulation to make it a bit faster. Thank you.